Caitlin Clark has officially signed a lifetime contract in Europe, and she won't be returning. I'm torn, happy for her, but sad for what this means for the WNBA. She's packed her bags and left, and honestly, can we blame her? She carried the league but got nothing in return. Bad calls from refs, constant accusations of racism, and a tiny paycheck. And let's not forget that ridiculous Nike deal. It was hardly worth mentioning. No wonder she's done with the WNBA.
It's frustration with the league's officiating. Recently, telereporters, quote, "I feel like I'm getting hammered and everybody is physical with me. And opponents get away with things that other people don't get away with."
The WNBA basically gave their biggest star a thank you for your service card and a tip jar. Now, they can whine, cry, and beg her to stay all they want, but she's gone. Europe's treating her like the queen she is, while the WNBA is left with nothing but regret and an awkward deal.
WNBA season ending for many teams, there are already so many players heading overseas to play during the off-season.
So, Caitlin Clark, the golden child of the WNBA, just signed a lifetime contract in Europe. Yep, lifetime. Let that sink in. This spells trouble for the WNBA, and why? Because they couldn't find their checkbook. Here's the crazy part. Clark has been carrying the league on her back, TV ratings skyrocketing, jerseys sold out, and her energy unmatched. Yet the WNBA has been acting like she's just another player. Seriously, did they miss the memo that she's basically the future of women's basketball? They didn't want to stir up drama by giving her the massive paycheck she deserves, so they stuck with their everything's fair policy. Newsflash, WNBA, when you've got someone like Caitlin Clark, fairness goes out the window. You pay her. But no, they kept it cute, avoided making waves, and now they're drowning in their own mess.
Even our biggest star in the league, Caitlin Clark, is only making a base salary of around $76,000 or $78,000 for this first season. She signed a 4-year, just over $300,000 rookie salary. So Caitlin's rookie salary is a little over $300,000 for 4 years, and that's all that she's going to make in the WNBA. Now, I feel like there could be a team overseas who would love to snatch Caitlin Clark away from us and give her a crazy offer.
Caitlin did what any superstar would. She packed her bags and said, "See you later." And not just any goodbye, but a lifetime contract with a European club. She's out there getting paid what she's worth, while the WNBA is probably sitting in a corner crying over their spreadsheets. It's embarrassing. The league was more focused on keeping balance than on keeping Caitlin Clark, and now Europe is throwing bags of cash at her like it's no big deal. It's honestly hilarious how this played out. The WNBA didn't think Clark would actually leave. They probably assumed, oh, she loves us. She'll never walk away from the chance to dominate American basketball. Wrong. Clark had been dropping hints for a while, frustrated about getting paid like a bench warmer while carrying the entire league on her back. But no one took her seriously. Maybe they thought tossing her a few extra endorsement deals would be enough. Spoiler alert, it wasn't.
It's on the wrong team. She's got the wrong skill set to handle the physicality of that league. And she's a rookie.
Now, let's talk about how much this is going to sting for the WNBA. They didn't just lose a player. They lost their main attraction, the one fans were showing up in droves to see. Caitlin Clark was the future of the WNBA, and now she's across the ocean, living her best life. This isn't just losing a player. It's like losing the entire show. Who's going to bring in the ratings now? The sponsors? The fans? The WNBA is over here scrambling, trying to play catch-up, while Clark is out in Europe, probably signing autographs in 5 different languages.
Like we've covered in the Clarkonomics video, there was a huge boom this season. There was a huge boom in merchandise and television viewership and sold out arenas and all of these things.
The WNBA could have locked her down, made her the face of the league for years, but nope, they hesitated. Now, Europe is treating Caitlin Clark like royalty. The WNBA didn't just lose a player. They lost a marketing dream, a fan favorite, the one player who could have taken them to new heights. But they were too focused on keeping things fair and balanced. Well, I hope that balance is worth it, because now they're watching their biggest star shine from across the Atlantic, and let's be real, this move is going to shake up the WNBA in a major way. Other players are watching, and they're probably thinking, if Caitlin Clark can get a lifetime deal overseas, Why am I here getting crumbs? If the WNBA doesn't wake up and start paying their stars what they're worth, it's going to be a one-way ticket out of the league for a lot of top talent. Why stick around when Europe's throwing money at you like confetti?
That time, she was also like hands down the face of the league. The WNBA was not as popular as it is now.
But guess what? Despite all of that, the WNBA decided to thank Caitlin Clark by tossing her a paycheck that's basically pocket change. Seriously, they acted like she was just another name on the roster. Yeah, the same Caitlin Clark who is single-handedly making the league relevant again. And the disrespect doesn't stop there. It gets even better. TV ratings shot up by 46% whenever she played. People who didn't even know what a WNBA game looked like were tuning in just to watch her. Yet the WNBA still sat there like, she's fine where she is. The audacity, and if you thought the disrespect ended with her paycheck, buckle up. The WNBA also made sure she wasn't getting too much shine in their marketing campaigns. Yes, you read that right. The player who was literally carrying the league wasn't even getting top billing.
Why?
To keep things balanced among other players who weren't even close to doing what Clark was. Instead of making her the face of the WNBA, they spread the spotlight around, trying to keep everyone happy. What they actually did was keep Caitlin Clark unhappy. They couldn't handle her being the big star, so they tried to keep her small. Smooth move.
Caitlin Clark was assaulted yesterday in her very first playoff game in the WNBA.
Caitlin Clark's 2024 WNBA season wasn't just a roller coaster. It was one of those rides where the safety bar doesn't quite lock in, and you're holding on for dear life. Let's start with the chaos of the poke heard around the world. Picture this. It's the first round of the playoffs. Clark is out there doing everything she can to drag the Indiana Fever to greatness. Just 2 minutes into Game 1 against the Connecticut Sun, Joni Carrington pulls a dirty move, a full-on WWE-style jab to Clark's eye. Vision?
Gone.
Black eye? Immediate, and what do the refs do? Crickets. The slow-motion replays show Carrington's hand connecting with Clark's face like something out of a bad action movie, yet still no foul. It's like the refs were too busy planning their post-game snacks to notice one of the league's biggest stars just got smacked in the face.
I am upset about. It's like, hey man, your meal ticket is under constant attack. There's been dirty plays all season.
And that wasn't even the worst of it. Throughout the season, it felt like the refs had it out for Caitlin Clark. Take the May 28th game against the Sparks, for example. 2 flagrant fouls called on her, and I swear one of them was for breathing too hard. Fans were left wondering, is this real life? Because it sure didn't look like it. People started to think the refs were trying to knock her down a peg, keeping the rising star in check before she completely eclipsed the vets. Spoiler alert, it wasn't working. The worse the calls got, the more people tuned in to watch Clark prove them wrong. But it was clear that if you were Caitlin Clark, getting any kind of fair call was like winning the lottery, next to impossible. The worst part, the WNBA knew what they were doing. They recognized they had a superstar on their hands, but still refused to fully embrace it. It was almost like they were scared she'd become too big, too fast, as if she might outgrow the league. Spoiler alert again, she did. By refusing to acknowledge her impact and pay her what she deserved, the WNBA created their own nightmare. They thought they could downplay her importance and keep her in check, but Clark wasn't having any of that. And honestly, can you blame her? At the end of the day, Clark wasn't just annoyed about the